Nat kept coming out and saying, like, just shake. In fact, there was no words, just the shake of the head.
She's exception to the rule.
Don't point that gun at me and we'll be all right.
No one needs to see that.
Loved it, Brooksy, loved it. It's all entertainment and theatre. Loved it.
Hello and welcome to Under the Lid, the Pro Cricket Show with me, Jack Brooks.
And me, Katherine Sciver-Brunt.
Hello, legend.
Very busy week of cricket for the ladies especially. Well, the boys have been busy for some time, haven't they? But it's really kicking off for the ladies, especially with the bank holiday Monday we've just had. Some nail biters. By the time this episode reaches you, you'll definitely have had 3 games in the weekend. Nice.
Remember those days. And of course, you've got the England women. I've got some matches coming up soon against Pakistan. So that'll be a good talking point for us today. And particularly for one of our guests who can run us through a few things. Also, it looks like summer's arrived the last couple of days. The weather's absolutely cracking. It's turned up a bit late, unlike me on Saturday for my club game. The opposite, where I was stupidly early.
I'm feeling a bit pink actually right now. Looking in the.
Caught the sun.
I think I'm burnt to a crisp as well. I've been outside making them. I think us English, we do that, don't we? We see some sun, we're straight out. Most people with tops off. I like to leave mine on. No one needs to see that. And then we just go and burn to a crisp 0 factor. It's the 0 factor for me that everybody likes. It's not the best, is it? Get your factor, whatever on, guys, just A factor.
Every day of cricket, I'm used to putting sun cream on, whether it be 15, 30, 50. No matter what I was doing, even if you'd usually use it for windburn in England, really, not even for the sun. But since I've stopped playing, I no longer carry sun cream around me. So that if I find myself doing something outside, then I'm just going to burn. But I go brown pretty quickly after as well, hopefully.
I know.
So.
It's terrible. I said, like, a couple of years into my career, I was like, right, I should probably start wearing sun cream now. I'm going to look like a wrinkly old lady by the time I finish my career, because the places we go, obviously, it's like not like England whatsoever. So anyway, other than that, I've been digging a huge trench all around my garden with a mini digger.
So you got a moat
I've
now,
turned into
a castle and a moat.
Yeah, I made a cricket pitch just out the back. Yeah, and it was my first experience with one, and they just dropped it off, and I was like, sweet, no manual, no, like, how do you start it? It took me 10 minutes to start it.
YouTube?
I know, bloody hell. And then I was like, God, what have I got myself into here? I'm not a multitasker, and on them you've got like 4 gear shifts, and you're all like 3 things at once. It was entertaining.
That was a show in itself.
I didn't break the house. I didn't go through a mains cable or a pipe, which is, risk. Nat kept coming out and saying, like, just shake. In fact, there was no words, just the shake of the head. Like, what on earth are you doing?
Is there any reason for it? Are you digging for oil or something?
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a new bathroom in the room
garden.
above our garage, so that when people visit, I can just lob them off in there, because, it's meant to be a guest experience around here. So other than that, I've been really ill and coughing and spluttering everywhere. So it's probably best I've been outside away from Nat. Don't want to be making her ill before she goes on England tour.
That would go down well, wouldn't it? I've been ill as well. Yourself? We haven't even seen each other, and I've been really ill. In fact, my little man Billy got ill first. He was quite severely ill last week with a fever and sickness bug. 4 or 5 days of that, and then me and my partner get it. So we were struck down. Me, obviously, worse. Man flu. I was in the spare room for a couple of nights. But, yeah, that wasn't fun. I had club cricket on Saturday, and I was told it was a 10 o'clock start, 2020 day. So if you win the first game, you play the next game in the evening. It's like a finals day thing. So me and my team turned up at 9:45, 9 o'clock, ready for 10 o'clock. It rolled round till about 9:45 and still, we're like, where are the opposition? And the umpires had just turned up. Well, the umpires told us it was actually 10:30. Luckily, we're at the right place. We just got the wrong time. Just peaked too early. That was great. I forgot to tell you, actually, the week before the Saka game as well. Adil Ali was one of the coaches when we used to play for Leicestershire. He lives in Leicester, but he was coming from London to go and buy a car up in Leeds. Bear in mind, he did all this in the same day. So he drove from London to Leeds to buy a car. Our game was down in Chelmsford the next day. So once he picked his car up, he drove back down. On his way through, he dropped her in at home at Leicester. Then he was putting his postcode in Chelmsford. He got as far as CH, whatever. then his phone rang, so he was distracted by a phone call, and he didn't put the postcode in correctly. So instead of going to Chelmsford, he went to Cheltenham. So he drove for 4.5 hours in the wrong direction.
What on earth?
At about, midnight or something, we're at Chelmsford waiting for him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm still a few hours away." So we didn't get into.
I can't describe how many swear words would have been in my car during that.
Hilarious.
It would not have been my passenger. Hopefully, he's quite a positive fella.
He is very. Got a lot of stick the rest of the week. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that sounds like the longest day of my life.
Bless him. Anyway, we should stop moaning about our lives and other people's lives and start talking about our guest's life. She is coming on in a moment. She's made a big name for herself already, actually, internationally. She obviously, you'll obviously know in a minute that she plays for England and the South East Stars. Is a fantastic all-rounder. I believe she's an all-rounder. She probably sees herself just as a smasher, but she's a proper all-rounder. And we're going to get to her in just a sec. But for now, as always, we love your feedback. And we do encourage you to leave more. We like more questions. Just really hammered myself and Jack. So get in touch. Use the hashtag under the lid. And the email, hello@underthelid.co.uk.
Hello. And always, this podcast is brought to you in partnership with the Professional Cricketers Association, and the cricketer whose outstanding coverage of domestic cricket online has been recognised for 6 years in a row at the ECB Domestic Journalism Awards. So this is put together by genuine professionals who know what they're doing.
Anyway, she's sat backstage waiting for a dinner, so we should get my old mate in and make it quick sticks.
Hello, Sophia Dunkley. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you two?
We are marvellous.
We're fantastic.
All the better for having you here. You're the first black female to score 100 for England, amongst many records she holds, as a real role model for current and future generations. So how does that make you feel, Sophia?
Oh, thanks, Jazz. Nice, isn't it? Yeah, pretty nice, I think. You don't really think about it, though, when you play.
No.
It's only when you sit back and people tell you about it that it kind of sinks in. But yeah, it's pretty nice, I guess.
That's awesome.
Lovely. Anyway, it's been a pretty hectic last couple of months, hasn't it? How have you found the start to the summer?
It has. It's been good. I've been back at South East Stars for the last couple of weeks now, and we're 4 from 5, which is a great start to the season. So
flying.
Pretty buzzing with that.
Winners!
Woohoo! Sad, we obviously missed a game. Well, not obviously, but we missed a game. We went to WAC2 in the week for team building, so yeah, missed out on Storm. But yeah, it's been good, and we've got one more 50-over game to go tomorrow, and then we're
just on that game with the South East Stars, the one that you lost. Was Tash playing in that game?
No, she wasn't.
No, she let everybody know that it was because she wasn't playing. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, she did. I know, she's been absolutely smashing it at the moment.
Smashing it.
Oh, go on,
what a girl.
Yeah,
is she loving it? Is she loving opening the batting?
Yeah, I think it's great. I said to her, it's the best place. Hard ball. You got so many gaps, just thread it through. She's been absolutely smashing it. So yeah.
Well, we used to have her in the nets, didn't we? On tour in England, we got no left-handers whatsoever. So needing some left-hand practice, we'd either have to get a coach in there who wouldn't have any equipment, so they're just gonna get hit probably in the balls or the head. And so we'd just throw Tash in, and there'd be about 7 seamers and 3 spinners of all kinds, just like bowling at Tash for about 3 hours, and she was just loving it. And you know what? I actually always found it really hard to get her out. So I'm not surprised at this opportunity she's been given. I think it's brilliant and good on her. She's taking it with both hands, isn't she?
She is. It's been great, and obviously she had a couple of tough years with the back, so she's come in and just absolutely bossed it. So I know we missed her that game, so but yeah, she can carry on now. It's great.
Just clarify for our listeners that Tash Farrant, she obviously was out for a long time with back injuries, wasn't she? So she'd just been hitting balls for 2 years.
Yeah, well, not easy, to be honest, not easy. Well, on and off, but I think, she had to have a bit of time off bowling, so she's been in the nets, crunching them.
Best way.
But yeah, best way.
So you also mentioned WAC 2 in there, the team bonding sessions that England have. This is the second year now, isn't it? They've done it. Could you just explain for our listeners, like, the purpose of it, and probably, well, the strangest thing you did / incident that you might have seen?
Yeah, of course. It's basically like a company that run a kind of team building experience, I guess, in the Lake District. Very pretty place, really pretty. But I would imagine, I guess you go there with some kind of thing that you want to work on as a team or as a business. And they kind of put together like a course of different, I don't know, they teach you different methods to deal with different things and then put you really under pressure in some of the outdoor activities. Which some people, like Nat, don't actually find that challenging. Like, I feel like Nat last year was just in her absolute element. I absolutely despise them, to be quite honest, but just got to get on with it. So, yeah, it's kind of a mixture of chatting, kind of opening up with a few of our teammates and coaches, and then doing some activities. And it was the rock climbing for me this time that really got me, to be honest. Because
those harnesses really do go up your crotch and your ass, don't they? It's not flattering.
It's uncomfortable. 2, this mountain, we went rock climbing, and I was on the side of a mountain, clinging on for dear life, with a harness on up my bum, and it was just not the most enjoyable thing I've ever done. And I think I was in tears for half of it, to be honest, shouting at the man at the top to pull the harness up because I was falling down. So, yeah, it was quite interesting. But then, once you got to the top, no, it doesn't stop there. You then have to abseil back down the side. Just like, by the time I got to the top, I was like, guys, like, this is just too much. But then, yeah, we completed it though, so that's.
And then didn't they then throw you off a cliff into some water, and some people just refused to go in?
Oh yeah, that was last time, which I also hated as well. So I feel like they just don't like me out there.
Really great experience then, yeah.
I'm a London city girl, aren't I? So I'm a bit out of place up in the Lake District.
All right, mate. We won't be volunteering you for the next series of Gladiators then, Sophia.
But I found it quite traumatic actually, but anyway. Was there
some good chat at least? Like good chat on.
Yeah, we had a lot of
round the fire with marshmallows and things.
Cold water immersions and breathing techniques but no, it was really good. I think they're so good at delivering like the different, I don't know, lessons if you want to call it, and we learned quite a lot. And I think it's just nice to get to open up and kind of be a bit more vulnerable with your teammates, because it's kind of not a forced situation, but in terms of what they put you in, I think emotions are kind of high, and yeah, it's pretty nice actually. You come away from it feeling a lot more together and bonded. Nice. So on the whole, it was great, but when I was on that rock face, it's not the one for me. But you completed it though, so that's.
Bronte, you must have done so many similar things like that over the years.
Oh nah. I missed out on that first WAC 2, and then but before that, I did one other thing, mainly a team bonding session with Yorkshire. Actually, I've had a couple of sessions there where we did some like orienteering, and we went into some dark tunnels where somebody's got to like guide you through, which is always a bit dodgy when Katie Levick's the one, telling you where to go. She could set you up.
The geography teacher.
Terribly.
I did one with Yorkshire as well. I went to Katherine, the army base up in North Yorkshire, and I just remember laying in the long grass. They put you with as like a soldier. You pair off for these tasks, and I just remember laying in the long grass with this very northern lad who's about 20 from Doncaster, just laying in the long grass with him. He didn't want to chat to me. He wasn't interested in the whole thing. I asked him how he was and why he was in the army. He was like, well, if I wasn't in the army, I'd probably be dead or in jail. And I was like, all right, excellent. This is going to go well. Don't point that gun at me and we'll be all right.
That's most people in Yorkshire. I feel like that too.
Excellent. Sophia, it's all going off in women's cricket at the minute, obviously with the new Tier 1 stuff. new structure. What's your thoughts on the new county system? Are you looking forward to potentially carrying on with Surrey? Do you expect to stay with Surrey?
Yeah, do you know what I think it is really exciting at the moment. I think it's going to be such a positive thing going forward. I think obviously for some teams it's quite a big change of location and stuff, and I'd love to continue my journey with Surrey, and like I said before, I'm a London girl, so being based at the Oval suits me very well. So I think on the whole we're pretty lucky there because there's not massive relocation for us, but I know for a few other teams it's a little bit trickier. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. I just think the way cricket's going, just to kind of have that brand and recognition and stuff is going to be great going forward, and obviously playing at massive stadiums like the Oval, having a lot of home games there and being able to train there is just kind of going to be game changing. So yeah, I'm buzzing. It'd be great.
Do you prefer the Oval over Lords? Because you told me before we came on air that you live in North London, and that's definitely not Surrey.
I know, it's a touchy one. It's a touchy one. Is it? I know. Well, I think there's two very different experiences, to be fair. But I just love Friday night at the Oval. It's a bit of a vibe, really, isn't it? Friday night T20 at the Oval.
It's noisy, isn't it?
Then you can just walk out and go all around London.
Yeah, exactly.
Way-hoo.
Go for a wander. How do domestic contracts work? Where if you're centrally contract with England, for our listeners who might not know anything about that?
Well, at the minute, there's not really. You kind of sign I think it's called a secondment agreement. So it's like you're contracted by England, but then going into the summer, you have like something that kind of binds you to a team to play for them. But there's not anything. I don't think there's anything currently that massively ties you on a yearly basis, if that makes sense. But I think what might be good going forward is like a shadow contract, which I believe the England men might have, where you sign with a team so that if you lose your England contract, you then fall onto that contract automatically. So you kind of have a bit of security around your England contract. And then obviously if your team has offered out all their 15 contracts, say, and there's no space for you, it obviously puts you in a tricky position. So I think that might be something that might hopefully come into the game going forward, because obviously that would be a great thing for security and everything.
Security is sort of, isn't it? Particularly with, the money in the women's game isn't anywhere near what the men's is at the minute, but that will help move women's cricket on a little bit as well, won't it?
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's quite nice to be 100% aligned to your domestic team all year round and just have that kind of bit on paper just to say, yeah, I'm with Surrey, and So yeah, that would be good going forward, I hope.
Proud Surrey girl.
It's always. I think the key in that was the security bit. That's always been something that's followed us around a lot. The sort of insecurity of it all and not knowing whether you're coming or going and what the future holds. That's always been a bit of a daunting thing. So that's great. Things seem to be moving in the right direction, all for not just cricketers, but as humans too. So that's good. That's cool. I think by now our listeners will know the teams for England this summer. Obviously, Pakistan series is coming up this weekend, and we know obviously you're not part of the squads for that. First time in quite a long time. Don't quite want to ask you how you feel about it because that's obvious. But is there any reasons why, or if there's a better angle to look at it for you?
Yeah, you're more than welcome to ask me how I feel. That's fine. But yeah, first of all, obviously there's no hiding that. It's a pretty gutting thing to hear. It hurts a lot. But I think ultimately, I've not put in the performances in international cricket that I've needed to the last 9 months. So, I think right now it's a good opportunity for me to play domestic cricket and work on things to kind of come back stronger. Because ultimately my ambition is I want to play for England for sure, and I want to play for England in impact games for England. And I think one of the main reasons is they didn't want to bring me on tour to sit on the bench and not play cricket. So that in itself is quite a positive thing. So I can go and play as you know, Katherine, I've spent for the last 6 months changing a lot of my batting technique, changing a lot of my mental approach to cricket. I'm still tweaking things today in the net. So I guess on reflection, I kind of underestimated how hard that might be in international cricket, because the last 6 months I've played in the Big Bash, which is obviously quite a big competition, and international cricket. So it's pretty hard to be working on things while having the pressure of playing for England at the same time and all the rest of it. So yeah, whilst it is pretty gutting and it still hurts now, I think in the long run, hopefully it's going to be for the best and give me some time to play and hopefully come out the other side.
You've already made some sacrifices. I know you've had a couple of trips actually to Mumbai now to work on your batting against spin and working in different continents, and you said no to the IPL, the WIPL, and these things are massive. These decisions are massive. Those 2 trips to Mumbai, that's time away from family and home, and then saying no to the money that's involved in IPL is a big deal. So your heart's in the right place, and I know what you love playing cricket and cricket for England, and I've no doubt, like the how you are in your mind, that once you set your sight on that, you'll do it. And you've already changed it around. That you've had 1 game since selection, and you made 60 odd in a crucial game. So, like, do you know what I mean? These things are meant to test you, and absolutely nothing works overnight. These things take time, as we all know, and the men actually spoke about this recently in their restructuring. They're going to town actually on the scheduling and stuff like that, which is great because it needs to be improved. It needs to be improved now. So them all getting together and fighting and talking about that is really great, because as you said, there's no time out of playing cricket to work on your skills. And like a lot of people keep saying it's not important, but it bloody is. I think I went through a 10-year period without having a winter to work on anything specific. It's just play, rest, and there's no way to go about becoming the best in the world at something. Yes, you can play international cricket, and yes, you can tick along and make contributions, but you sort of stagnate and you can't reach those heights you want to reach. So I have no doubt that that's just one of these moments in your life that is just going to make you better.
All the best players get dropped at some point, don't they? I know even if you look at the men's version.
Well, Katherine. It's one time.
Sorry, that was an inside joke.
Inside joke could be an outside joke. Well, Brunty doesn't know what it feels like, but
so Sophia's
she's exception to the rule.
You're 25 now, Sophia?
Yeah, 25.
So you're not coming into your peak, will be not far off. But Brunty, how were you dropped early on in your career, or a similar age at all, or not?
Never.
Never dropped.
Dropped. Never.
You would have beat someone up if you got dropped, wouldn't you?
No, like only. I'm a different. The only way I can describe it is one thing was the talent around at the time. There weren't many seamers coming through. It wasn't something. It's not really a part of the sport that you would pick. Like you don't recommend it. I don't recommend being a seamer. Like it's fun, but it's hard work. So there weren't many around, and obviously women's cricket wasn't that big, so there weren't many players able to come into the system, grow, and then finally get to me and push me out of my place. So I had a good 10 years without any competition at all, and then in the second 10 years of my career, lots turned up, but there's just something in me that's a little bit insane, and that would just make me push really far. And it was like this thing where I wanted to get to the end of my career without ever being dropped, and I would do whatever it took. If it meant ending up in hospital, which it did twice, three times actually, then I would do that. So the only times I ever missed cricket was because I ended up in hospital.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the mentality I've got, though. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm on my own in the way I think sometimes, because it's probably not the healthiest.
Because you're an hard northern.
But Yeah, I mean, it's helped me through a lot, a shit ton of resilience, and
I think that's what professional sport builds, doesn't it? The resilience you need. You've got to buy into it, otherwise you just don't last, do you? But how do you reckon you'll turn it around? Also, you got a T20 coming up at the end of the Summer World Cup. Big target for you, or you just try not to think about it right now and just concentrate on the stars?
Well, yeah, it's definitely a target for me in terms of, obviously I want to be in that side that goes to Bangladesh for sure, but I think right now it's definitely not like at the forefront of my mind. It's more just taking each game at a time and just trying to play that game and not force too much. But I think actually in myself and my cricket, and technically it's all feeling really good, so I think it's just about having the time to play and hopefully impact games for stars and just carry it on. And I've still got big goals and ambitions, and I had a day of feeling a bit rubbish and sad, but I think I just got to get out of that really quickly and just move on to the next thing. And I'm feeling determined to definitely turn it around and to come back stronger and give myself the best chance. I don't want to look too far ahead because it's a big old summer and lots of things can and can't happen. So see how it goes.
And this human side to you, like, that no one gets to see. Well, I do, fortunately. But what would you do to get away from the game? Not only in your time off, but now that you're going through facing a decision like that or whatever, what do you do to switch off, and how would you help that?
Yeah, so I think seeing my family's obviously quite important. My mum also doesn't live too far away from me, and she was just
chewing your ear off.
Chewing my ear off. Took me to the cinema last night, which was lovely.
Aww.
Went to the Everyman, watched challenges, spend time with friends, and just go and get away from, I guess, a cricketing environment. Because obviously, a lot of the chat of the last week is around if I'm all right and about cricket, which is really, really nice. But I think it was nice to kind of just get outside of the cricket bubble just to talk about other things that isn't cricket, because I don't want it to consume my whole being. But yeah, correct. I think to be honest, I'm a big, as you know, Katherine, a big socialiser, so socialising, having a laugh and all that kind of stuff.
You need a visit to Lakeside Cottage to view my trenches. I'll show you how to switch off.
A visit to Lakeside Cottage would be great, yeah. Bathroom.
Go and have a look at Catherine's trenches.
Not stay in the unique stay yet, so that would be quite nice. Still waiting.
It's not open yet. I'll be releasing that on this podcast in the summer, don't you worry.
Some cold water immersions outside, lovely.
She'll just throw buckets of water at you out the window. So your cinema, what's your choice of popcorns? Sweet, salty, or do you take your own in because you're a tight ass?
I like sweet and salty mixture.
Yeah.
Are you referring to me, Jack?
Wait, I've never been to cinema with you. How would I know?
I take my own sweets in because I'm particular with that.
It is very expensive.
Sweet popcorn always.
Sweet and salty mix.
Yeah, sweet and salty mix would be nice, wouldn't it? Mixture. But I don't.
But then you drink more, then you need a wee, because if you've got a small bladder like me. Switching off anyway, Sophia. Are you a bridesmaid soon?
I am indeed, yes.
For one of your teammates. Let's talk about that, shall we? Who is it? And when is it?
It's Danielle Wyatt, and she's getting married in August.
Can't wait.
Between just after the 100.
Wicked. So Hindu?
That'll be fun. Hindu, yeah.
Is the planning going well, or
Hindu planning is going very well, actually.
I hope there's no strippers, and we're not. I don't want to partake in tying Danny to a pole.
Well, yeah, there's a lot. The foundations have been laid, and then there's still some finer details to go. But I feel like it's looking good. I can't lie, it's looking good.
It's looking sweet, and I think it's in the mighty Leeds.
It's in Leeds, so
watch out, Leeds.
It's going to be carnage.
That is Danielle's request. No, not Henley. But yeah, it's looking good. It's quite a lot of pressure. There's a lot. I don't know. I don't want to mess it up. I want it to be really good. So I'm taking a lot of thought. Like my notes section on my phone is full of just, I don't know.
As long as we're all together and we've got a few bottles of prosecco or champagne in front of us, that nothing can possibly go wrong.
That is true. Nothing. Nothing.
Anyway, talking of nights out, you've just been to a night out. I believe in Landan again. Sports Industry Awards, was it?
That was
Saw
it.
a few dresses on there with the old gals. I think Sarah Glenn joined you. Who else joined you?
Boosh was there.
Oh, the Mighty Boosh. Sorry, my Boosh.
Did
you meet anyone rather special? Did you get a pick? Like Danny Wyatt used to rock up to these Sports Personality of the Year awards and just try and get the most famous person pictures with.
Got a nice
I'm pretty sure she's got Beckham.
Got Tommy Fury. That was nice.
Oh yeah, nice.
That was a good one. And then Ebbs was there, and she's really good friends with Denise Lewis, so she came over for a chat, and that was lovely.
Of networking.
It was just nice, but it was actually a really cool event. Like it was just like loads of sports people, and it was just really cool.
Nice. Well, it's nice to have a little different kind of night out, isn't it?
Yeah,
the only problem is getting dolled up. That's why I always wish I was a boy. I could just slap a suit on and not even worry. Just go like
take a while.
The end.
Brush the dress on.
Whatever. I'm so jealous.
The heels.
Are you sore now? You got feet doms from the heels.
Yeah, well, I had to train the next day as well, so it was pretty hefty.
Cricket Archive, guest stat alert, guest stat alert. Woo, 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 woo.
Anyway, so this is the the Cricket Archive guest stat alert. Yes, and it's on you, obviously based on you. And we come up with something weekly for whatever guests we've got. We had a few for you, and we trimmed it down to this one. Are you ready? So for your 2 international wickets that you have, I would personally like you to name who they are, and then we'll just talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm going to struggle with that. I can't lie.
I'll give you a small hint. One was to win a game against the Windies in 2022. Can you not remember running around with your arms wide?
Yeah, I can remember the celebration, but
Shakira Selman.
Oh, to be fair. Were you playing in that game?
I'm sure I was playing in that game.
Playing in that game.
Oh, I might have been watching actually, because ODIs at that stage were a bit of a no-no for me. And the old
side. Might be on the side, clap me off.
Yeah, but anyway, the other one was Shashikala Shirawardena v Sri Lanka in Colombo. 2019.
Long time ago.
I'm not being funny, but I feel like you've got a bit of a golden arm, and we should definitely see more leg spin. What about Southeast Stars? Are you going to get to be able to turn your arm over, or have you got 315 bowlers?
I mean, we have got a few bowlers, but I'm in the mix, I reckon.
You have got a wicket-taking arm. It's like the one person you don't want to bowl at you, so you need to keep that in mind.
Oh, thanks, Kathy. Yeah, I'm in the mixer. I'll get in Bryzy a bit more.
I think we should just line you up against the big boshers.
That's what because I think people just want to take me downtown. So it's like, get me on.
My eyes would.
And then I might go for 17, but you never know. Cheeky wicket along the way.
April's PCA Player of the Month is out, isn't it? I don't know if either you two were paying attention to what's going on. Obviously, Sophia, you've probably been playing against everyone in the last couple of weeks, or nearly everyone. First awards of the season handed out. We have the MVP powered by Argentex. It went to a fan vote, and the 2 winners were very similar names. You had Rihanna McDonald Gay and Ryan Higgins with the men's award. I don't know if you two want to briefly talk about Rihanna McDonald Gay and how she's gone. She's taken 12 wickets at 11 so far.
Holes.
Before we talk about Rihanna, we've got to go back to Tash, haven't we, and just give Tash a shout out, because had she played that game, who knows? She could have had 100 and a threefer, and then she would have smashed it. So we'll just give her a small shout out, because I know she'll be like dying inside about that.
Go Tash, just cooking me some steak sandwich.
But she's been great, hasn't she? I've been speaking about her a bit this year because I'm like, it's one of those situations where I know I'm in cricket and I've literally just left it, but it's like I'm like, who is Rhiannon, and like, is she any good? Like, what's her future look like? And by all accounts, everyone I've spoke to, that she is a good cricketer, and obviously the stats speak for themselves, and time will tell. But yeah, she's got a lot of talent, and hopefully you can share a little bit more about what she possesses and how far she can go with it.
Yeah, like, honestly, she's been bowling so well for us. And the net, she just bowls absolute jaffers. Like, I'm facing her and I'm turning around and stumped for the foot. I'm like, how the hell's that happened? But I think that's why, like, and we've played, like, some pitches at Beckenham, like, absolute belters. She's just nipping the ball round. So, yeah, it's
Makes
great to see.
happen.
But I think that's probably her point of difference for me, is just kind of, like, the way she can kind of move the ball off the seam. And she's just so accurate at hitting the stump, so it just makes it really tricky. And it'll definitely be exciting to watch her as well in T20 cricket with a few more tricks up her sleeve. And
Googlies.
Yeah, couple of Googleys.
Nice.
I'm buzzing for her. She really deserves that, because, yeah. And to be fair, she got a fifer. Next game she got a fourfer, but there was a drop catch, so she would have had two in a row.
Who dropped it? Name and shame.
No, I can't. That's me.
Was it Tash Tash on purpose? She wants that 7.5 G.
No. minor detail, but she could have had back to back.
So potential England player in the future then.
Yeah, I'm sure. Well, she's played a lot of times for the England A's, so she's definitely in and around the mixer. But yeah, hopefully a few more polls to stars next few weeks would be lovely.
Well, no doubt. Hopefully no drops. Just want to get called out on air, do we?
What about Higo, Brooksy?
Well, Ryan Higgins is always there or thereabouts in the men's game every single year. I guess it's more built for all-rounders. He's batting 6 now. He never used to bat that high, I don't think, in previous years. He's already scored a double 100 this year. He scored 455 runs in the championship so far at 91.
Nice.
And he also tends to open the bowling. He's got 11 wickets at 29. So his bowling stats are good, but his batting stats have been unbelievable. So he's run away with it this month. And to be honest, but I think he'll end up finishing at worst top 3. He'll definitely be in the mix all year. So obviously, well done, Higo, and it's pretty regulation for him. Now, under the lid's big question is one of Brunty's favourite parts about the show.
We ask our guests something every week to tell us something that we don't know about them, because this is obviously all about getting under the lid. So, Sophia Dunkley, tell us something we don't know about you.
I have a grade 3 certificate playing the trumpet. Didn't know.
Nice.
I am as tuned for the trumpet as I am singing, which obviously Katherine means I must be pretty good.
Okay.
Well, do you know what? Natty's got. I'm sure Nat. So I just called her Natty. That's weird. Nat's got. I'm sure she's got a trumpet certificate also.
I feel like she might do as well. I think I might have
if we get her on, I've just ruined her stat as well now, that she'll have to reveal another one.
Under the lid band. We're getting a band together. This is all coming together nicely.
I mean, my trumpet skills are... I feel like I remember...
Level 3 are pretty high.
But like when I was in primary school, wherever it was, I feel like I did a concert and like I was just getting all the notes wrong, and like Mum was just sat in the audience like, oh no. This is just
embarrassed.
Like this violinist came on before me, like properly, just like really good, and then I'm there, all the notes are just wrong. It's just like, and I thought the trumpet, once you get the trumpet sound wrong, like it's so wrong. Like it's not even like a little mistake. It's like just, and it just sounds awful. And then she videoed me. I think I've got the video somewhere, and I've watched it now. I just can't even watch it. Like it's hard watch. So yeah,
it's very embarrassing.
Might not be coming out anytime soon, but
nice.
You never know.
Audition for the new Barmy Army trumpeter then in the future, yeah.
Nice. Well, we should probably form a band then, because like you've obviously got Dino and Wongy have got the guitars, so they could probably like bass and electric. Did Lev play an instrument? I'm sure there's a recorder out there. We've now got 2 trumpets. I'm sure Nat can sing as well. We've just got to find a drummer. I think Sykesy, the analyst in the England team, he can play. We need to find a fella who can sing. One of the fellas has got to sing. And then
Amy Jones.
Yeah, absolutely not.
She likes to give me and Amy make a cracking duet.
Right, we've got the final round coming now, Dunks. So we can let you go and eat some grub and recover from your training sesh. Right, this is called the last round, okay? And it's where we get our guests to swing from the ring and answer as many questions as they can in 60 seconds. So the 60 seconds will be on the clock. We've got runs on the board for anybody that's following on YouTube. And you get 1 run per correct answer, question and answer. Crikey, I got that wrong. If we start the question at the towards the end and the siren goes off, we start, so we'll finish. So I think the leaderboard, we've got OHD got 8. Is that right?
Yep.
And then
Charlie Dean 7, Sam Cook 6, Ben Duckett 4, Katie Leffick 4. So pick someone you want to beat there.
So can you please get more than 4? The more you fanny around with the questions, the less you'll get right. So are you ready? Sophia Dunkley, this is the last round. Go.
Against which team do the South East Stars open their Charlotte Edwards Cup campaign?
Western Storm.
Correct.
How many runs did you score against Sunrisers last weekend?
67.
Correct. What is your bowling average in ODIs?
I've got absolutely no idea. Right.
Wrong.
In what format do you have the best batting average for England?
ODIs?
Tests.
What was Katherine's shirt number for England?
26.
Yes! What sponsor is on the front of the Welsh Fire shirt?
Oh, hula hoops.
Correct.
What are stars mainly made out of?
Gas.
What gas?
Nitrogen.
No.
Hydrogen. Name 2 of the companies you were an ambassador for.
Grey Nix.
Yep.
And Vitality.
Correct.
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
Oh, I'm not 52k.
Oh!
Ooh, nearly. Unlucky. 54 and 900.
5. I'll take 5. That's not the
Nearly
worst.
55.
That's not the
Nice.
worst.
I believe you got 5.
I just wanted to get more than 4, so that's good. That's a good one. And there was no dodgy ones in there, which I'm a bit disappointed about. But you're firmly in the middle there, so, we'll let you off.
Love it.
But we'll try and get you back on to up your score next time.
You've gone above Ben Duckett and Katie Levick, so congratulations.
Yeah, I'm happy.
It's a huge honour for you, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much, guys.
Sophia,
right, Jack, should we get rid of it?
Go and get your food. Go and chill out. Get ready for your big game tomorrow. Good luck. Thank you so much for coming under the lid with us on episode 6.
Thank you so much for having me.
And have a great summer. Oh, isn't she lovely?
Did you like that? Is that your first meet?
It's the first time I've ever spoken or seen her. Well, I suppose not even in the flesh, is it? But yeah, first time I chatted to her. Yeah, good.
I had a message off OHD on Instagram actually the other day, and I was just like, oh, that's just so nice, isn't it? And I was thinking to myself,
a nice
the best
message.
thing about it was nice. The best thing about this podcast is just getting to meet lots of people that I wouldn't normally ever get the chance to meet. So not only there'll be a lot of girls on here, I imagine, by the end of the year where I've never spoken to them before. So yeah, I've really enjoyed that part of it. And yeah, he basically just told me to say hi to my dad Mickey at Shoreline, give him a pint.
Barnsley link, isn't there? So I know what you Yorkies are like. You stick together. Once a Barnsley, always a Barnsley, aren't you? Like.
But it was really nice, and yeah, I don't know if you're enjoying it as much as I am in that regard, and So we just keep seeming to have belters on here, Jack, that we really enjoy.
We're picking good guests so far, but yeah, I'm learning a lot as well. Some of the in-jokes between you and the guests I don't get. It goes well over my head. But
sorry about that.
It's all good. It's all good. We've got some feedback, haven't we? We've had some massive fans of ours diving into our DMs and emails. And I've got one from Ashika Thakur. It says, Katherine, please don't say that you have no fans. I'm sure there are plenty. It's just that some of us are pretty lazy when it comes to writing mails. You and Jack are doing a pretty nice job, and I wait every Thursday for the pod. That's lovely, isn't it? And she has 2 questions for us. Number 1, as both of us are fast bowlers, or were fast bowlers-ish, and fast bowlers are synonymous to sledging, if you know what I mean. So give us some of the best or worst sledging moments you both have been part of, or somebody else in the team. Come on, spill the beans.
To be fair, I've actually got nothing. You know that there's obviously a famous one between James Anderson and Mitchell Johnson. I absolutely loved that was filmed. Because that was like one of the best things ever, because it worked out for the bowler.
Yeah. You give it this one.
But I've got nothing like classic like that, other than just winding the shit out of each other. So like the batter's getting all fiery, I'm obviously getting fiery. It helps when they're as nuts as I am. When one of you's, I tried to sledge Elise Perry once when she just got 200 runs off 6,000 balls.
Nice.
And when you just bat a team into the ground and you've bowled 160 overs and you want everything to end and everyone to make it stop, and it just keeps going. It's just, so for me, it's just been sort of like back and forth frustration. We know the stump cam's there and the mic's there, and they get you for the smallest things, and I wish they wouldn't. I wish they'd just turn them off so we can get right to it. You want the
insight, or you just leave it alone, don't you?
Yeah.
It should be what's said on a sports field in the heat of the moment, and it's not a battle because it's not war, but it's, we call it that. But those sort of stuff, just let it go. And also, it's entertainment. It's people playing for their livelihoods, for their country. Like it's on the line, isn't it?
You cannot. There's so many times that you just cannot like hide your emotions. We're all human. I don't know how people keep it together sometimes, because we're probably the cleanest sport out there. Where you watch football, especially boxing, there's so much swearing and disrespect. It's not even funny. But we don't even touch that, do we? And it's
not really. You do get a little bit. I've got an absolute barrage from Steve Kirby, who's ended up being my bowling coach at Somerset. Sorry, obviously you probably know Curbs from the circuit, and he was an ex-Yorkshire player back in the day. But he was a very angry man, a completely different bloke to what he was on field. But in my second year playing Northants v Gloucester, John Lewis and Steve Kirby were 2 of the Gloucester players, and Lewis was winding Kirby up to get stuck into me and give me a barrage, and he ended up coming around the wicket. He's like, come around the wicket, umpire, call the ambulance. I was like, great, here we go. Just bowled me a barrage of bouncers, came down the wicket every time, snorting and cursing in front of me, telling me I was
snorting,
telling me I was ugly. Just everything under the sun. And then when it came to his turn to bat, I was told by a few of the Northants senior players to give him some back. Just said, like, he gave you loads, give him it back. So I gave him a few bouncers, and then he just turned around and walked down the wicket at me, telling me I was shit, and you know I am. Anyway, he got out not long after that, and we won the game easily. And I'm going up to shake his hand, thinking, who is this lunatic? Is he going to wrap his bat around my head? And he just gave me the biggest hug out in the middle. He said, loved it, Brooksy, loved it. It's all entertainment and theatre, loved it. And I was like, you're mad, mate. How can you be this nice and normal, and then, like, during the game, be an absolute lunatic?
After the game, he was probably silently embarrassed about it and thought he'd probably gone too far. But
he definitely wouldn't have been. If you know Curbs, he wouldn't get embarrassed by that. He just had white line fever, just very competitive man. Very funny. But I never used to sledge much, just because I didn't feel the need to. Sometimes if I wanted to try and be funny, or if I thought it was particularly needed, just to test someone out. But most of the time, it was just a look. I like to be able to just give a stern look and to let you know I can hit your head at 80 odd mile an hour. Just that's enough for me.
That's for that. Anyway, she also says, when are you going to have Nat on the pod? And Natty? That is a very good question, Natty.
Natty and Catty, are they coming on?
She's just downstairs cooking me dinner, but You could be on at any moment, but we wanted to keep it for a special occasion. So incoming is Natalie Sciver-Brunt.
Yeah, she's not avoiding us, and we're not going to ask her on, but we'll just save her for a bit. Let it build up.
Let's see. She might be on next week. She might not be, and there might be, or there might not be, some news from the both of us to hand out. So we'll see. Got to stay tuned. Got to keep giving you questions. Keep subscribing.
Tune next week. Some massive news. What other feedback have we had?
Oh, let's have a look. Andrew Frank on YouTube referencing OHD's trip back home. Why would you use the M5 to travel between Brum and Yorkshire? You tell me, Jack.
I can't remember him saying the M5 between Brum and Yorkshire, because clearly the road from Brum to Yorkshire would be the M1, wouldn't it? And the M5 would take you to the West Country. So I can't remember
Probably
that.
Probably had some really important stuff to deal with.
Unless he was talking about me being in Taunton, him coming down the M5, I'm not sure. Anyway, moving on. We've also had one from Peter Bullard. OHD, Ollie Allen Dolby. What a guy. Arm like a traction engine. Yeah. yes, it is. What a hero of a man. It was a great pod last week, so I'm glad we got some good feedback on OHD as well. Listen, we love getting the feedback. We love getting the fan mail. Please do get in touch for any more feedback, questions, or even tell us where we're going wrong, who you want to get on, any big things you want to talk about. Please just hashtag Under the Lid on all social media, or you can email us at hello@underthelid.co.uk. Before we wrap up, this week, to be honest with you, it's been pretty brutal, isn't it? And very sad. There's a couple of things, right, just it's unthinkable, really. I was sick to the stomach with the news that came out about young Josh Baker, the Worcestershire cricketer who sadly lost his life last week. My heart goes out to his parents, Paul and Lisa, and all the family and the whole of everyone connected to Worcestershire County Cricket Club, especially his teammates and support staff. And I was lucky enough to meet Josh and be part of a change room with him last summer when I was on loan at Worcester, and you couldn't have met a nicer, more humble, hardworking young cricketer, and just a really lovely kid. And it's just mad to think that he's gone, and it's just awful what his family are going through. There are no words really that I can say that haven't already been said. His parents said some really lovely things on social media themselves, saying he achieved many of his dreams before reaching 21. It's just really sad that he can't go on and live more dreams for the rest of his life. But it's just extremely sad, and especially off the back of young Ben Wells having to retire a couple of days before, who luckily is still with us. But if he had carried on playing, potentially could have been in a similar position. And Wellesley I've played with at Somerset in the twos there, and he came through the pathway at Somerset. And he's only 22 and he's had to retire through a regulation heart screen that we all have pre-season as players. And basically it's, he's got this heart condition, which I believe that James Taylor is the same one that James Taylor had, or very similar to it, where he's basically got to stop doing any sort of strenuous exercise or risk the awful happening.
These regular screenings that they do now are just vital. Like, they save lives, and it's a non-negotiable. Like, it's not a comfortable thing to do, but it's so worth it. Like, literally saves lives. So it never ever used to be a thing. Like, I don't know, maybe beyond 8 years ago, maybe the first 12 years of my career, it wasn't a thing. So we're also thankful that things are in place to look after you and keep you in check, and that's just one of them. It's just such a sad and sickening thing, isn't it? Like, and both so young, but luckily things like this don't happen very often. And but when they do, it does, unfortunately for them, but it does make things better for the next generation, and our learnings and the lives we can save because they lost theirs. And yeah, it's going to be hard, isn't it, for the boys, Worcestershire boys, moving forward for a bit.
You spend so much time with your teammates, don't you? More than your own family during the season.
It'll be a tough, long season.
Yeah, to get told on the morning of a second team game, the second team lads that he was in the team with, it's just, it's not worth thinking about. So my heart goes out to the whole of the family. Josh Baker and also to Ben Wells, who hopefully he can come on the pod later in the summer and maybe talk us through where he's at post-cricket career. So sorry to finish on such a soft note, but that's all we've got time for, unfortunately.
Yes. Well, we couldn't go without saying it. It's always good to, talk about these things and share within our cricket community how everybody's behind them. So yeah, as you said, thoughts are out there for their friends and family and the Worcestershire team and the guys moving forward. So next week we've got a fantastic guest on. Maybe let everybody know about that midweek. A little teaser, that'd be good. And then, as always, please subscribe and leave us your feedback and questions all over the social media stuff on #underthelid and hello@underthelid.co.uk. And we shall see you for the next episode.
Bye. See you next week.
See you later.